In this video, I want to focus on grading. This class will use specifications grading with a few elements of labor-based grading to assess your learning as you go through the quarter and give you a grade at the end. So this may be something you've seen before in another class, and it may be new to you. So I want to walk through what it's going to look like. So first of all assignments are going to be graded as either incomplete, complete, or mastery. They're going to have a rubric. Mastery basically means you've got an A- on the assignment. It shows me that, well, there might be a few small mistakes. You get all of the concepts and calculations. Complete means you've attempted all of the work. However, there are some gaps in your knowledge. There's either a lot of mistakes or there's a really significant concept that seems to have a misunderstanding in your work. And incomplete just means, yeah, you just haven't followed all the instructions yet. So these point values are only to generate letter grades in Canvas. They're meaningless otherwise. It's just Canvas only works with points essentially. So in general, students are going to be able to revise their work after you get feedback from me. And so there's some types of assignments you can revise as many times as you need to. Those are our introductory assignments, like introducing yourself and participating in the honor code discussion. There's also homework assignments, which will be completed in Chem 101. And you can revise your work on each problem until you can get about 85% or more of the problems in the assignment correct. And we have group assignments. These will be complete or incomplete as well, kind of like homework and introductory assignments. And these you can revise as many times as you want. You'll be working with a group, and these will usually be discussions, reflections, or like calculations completed together as a group. All three of these are going to be either just complete or incomplete. You'll see a green check mark, yep, you're done, don't need to do anything else, or an X, hey, this is incomplete, it needs more work. The assignments that I use to truly assess your understanding are actually going to be labs, problem sets, and projects. And these you'll only get one revision for each. And so for these ones, you'll turn in your best work. I'll give you lots of feedback, and then you'll take that feedback and revise your work until it's at that mastery level. You can also work with me in that revision process, ask for clarification, talk through things. I can help you through that. In general, grades are going to be based on just completing assignments and demonstrating mastery level understanding on some number of assignments. And that's going to be different than accumulating points in the class. Hopefully, though, with clear expectations for like what mastery level work is, you'll be able to then hopefully more easily navigate to your grade goal and have a clearer path to how to get the GPA you need to get. All right, this is a side-by-side comparison between my current grading system and the way I used to grade, essentially, which I think of as more traditional. So take a look at this, but I'll kind of just do a highlight here. So traditionally in chemistry classes, we have points for each assignment, and students will accumulate points throughout the quarter. And that number they accumulate compared to the total number is a percentage that leads to a grade. Usually our deadlines are pretty rigid with this, and any feedback you get on an assignment will hopefully improve your performance on a final exam later at the end of the quarter. So in this system, instead of accumulating all these points, you're just going to work on an assignment until it's complete or at a mastery level. And you'll use my feedback to improve that specific assignment rather than a later assignment. Our deadlines are going to inherently be flexible because there's this revision opportunity. And so it's not quite as rigid of a system. And then your grade is going to be determined by the number of assignments you're able to complete or complete at a mastery level rather than a percentage of points. No matter what, though, when I teach, I try to give lots of feedback. If you ever feel like you don't have enough on an assignment, just let me know and we can go over it in more detail together. And I'm going to walk through the types of assignments you're going to be graded on. First, we have our introductory assignments. These are just going to be graded as incomplete or complete, and they're a set of tasks you need to do during the quarter, most of them in the first week, like setting a goal for the class, telling me about yourself, introducing yourself to the class, things like that. In the middle of the quarter, you'll have a grade check-in in week 6. And then at the end of the quarter, you'll also be returning a lab kit, and it'll all be part of these introductory assignments. To pass the class, you need to do all of these, but they're all pretty low stakes and not too hard. Then we'll have group assignments. These are also required to pass the class, and they're going to be graded as either incomplete or complete. These are weekly assignments that you'll complete in a small group that will be formed in the first week of class. 4 to 6 students, you'll work with the same students all quarter. These assignments are usually going to be discussions about demonstrations or group working on a calculation or working through scientific communication skills. You'll be expected to complete all of these. And if you miss one, it's hard to revise or make it up without bringing your whole group into the process. So we'll have a makeup policy for group assignments. And if you have to miss meeting with your group in a week, you could always make it up by instead meeting with me in office hours, meeting with Ron, our lab tech in open lab, or meeting with a tutor at MAST, and then sending me the evidence that you did that. And we'll talk through that more. We also have homework. These are also graded as incomplete or complete. So you'll have a check mark when you're done and an incomplete X if you're not. And the idea is to practice problems and keep practicing until you can get about 85% of them right on a given assignment. We'll have 8 of these. They'll correspond roughly to about 1 chapter each. The first 2 assignments will be 1.5 chapters each. Our lab assignments, so these are going to be one of my assessment tools. And so you can be graded as incomplete, complete, or mastery level, and you'll have 1 revision to complete them. We have 6 labs during the quarter. These will use both your lab kit that you'll get in the first week, and also some of them will be fully online and use like online modeling tools. And they're all listed right here. We also have problem sets, which you may or may not complete depending on your goal for this class. This is another way that I assess your understanding, and they'll be graded as incomplete, complete, and mastery. There's 4 of them available, and they will all cover multiple chapters. And these are more challenging problems that synthesize and apply concepts that we learned over the course of those chapters. And so students that are able to complete at a mastery level a problem set are demonstrating to me that they have an extremely strong understanding of the material covered in that problem set. So it's kind of like getting an A on an exam, except it's not going to be timed and you don't have to memorize anything, which can make them more challenging and more time consuming, but also definitely more interesting and from my perspective, fun, although take that with a grain of salt. And then we also have projects. These are grade building projects. There's a lot of different types of them, and you don't have to do them all. You don't have to do any of them. But the idea is these are a way for you to build up your grade. Let's say earning a mastery grade on a lab assignment is too challenging or you don't have time for it. You don't need to do that. Instead, you can make up that work and build up your grade instead by completing a project. This could be a letter to a representative or a paper or an infographic or a presentation. It can even be a final exam or a midterm exam if you prefer. Some people are really good at taking tests, and if you are, I would like to be able to give you the opportunity to show me what you know in that type of an environment. So this is another one of our assessment tools, kind of like problem sets. I think of problem sets and projects as kind of one and the same thing. It's a way for you to show me that you understand the material at the level of like a 4.0 or a 3.8 or a 3.6, something like that. So here's my kind of summary overview of how you're going to be graded. In general, if you want to get a 3.0 in this class, you're going to need to complete all of the group assignments, complete all of the homework, complete all of the labs, and then revise the labs so at least 5 of them are at a mastery level. And then you don't have to do any of the problem sets or projects. And you got a solid B, right? There you go. You got a B in the class. And that's really completing at a mastery level the core work of the course. The labs and homework and group work are the core. Now, if you need a grade better than a 3.0, then you need to demonstrate additional mastery and higher order thinking skills like synthesizing concepts, applying concepts, and generating material. So To do that, you will need to get either a mastery on all of the labs, so 6 out of 6 instead of 5 out of 6, and then complete problem sets or projects to build up your grade. Each problem set or project will bump up your grade point 2. So you can imagine just doing all 4 of the problem sets, and then you're at a 4.0. Or let's say one of the problem sets is really hard, like it's really hard. You do 3 problem sets and 1 project, and now you're at a 4.0. So you can mix and match and combine, and it's really just so that way you always have the ability to like bring your grade up throughout the quarter. Um, in a variety of different pathways. And so you can choose the pathway that works best for your learning style. If problem sets or labs are super challenging, but you're really good at representing your knowledge through infographics and presentations, like you can use those to bring up your grade. Um, you can also get less, like if your goal is less than a 3.0, that works too. Basically, just to pass this class, like get a 2.0, move on to the next class, you need to do all of the group assignments, complete all of the homework, and complete all of the labs. You don't need to revise all of the labs to mastery, but you do need to complete them all and answer all questions. And this is with a good faith effort, right? Like you can't just write anything down. You have to actually engage with the work in a meaningful way. You just don't have to revise it to an A- level. So Canvas is not structured to track this grading system at all. Of course not. So really we'll use the Canvas gradebook to track whether you have an incomplete, complete, or mastery on an assignment. And then you'll be responsible for tracking your grade using this handy dandy spreadsheet that I've made. So you'll be able to download this to Excel or into Google Sheets. And as you complete or master assignments, you can come in and update it. And if you're not able to do that, you'll come in and you'll put in -0.1 for a group assignment if you miss one, or -0.1 for a homework, or -0.4 if you miss a lab or just turn in an incomplete lab. And then you can add +0.2 for each mastery level problem set or project. And this spreadsheet, as you fill it out, will and has instructions for how to do it on the side. It'll auto tally your grade in the class. You will assume that you are starting this class with a 3.2. Your job is to maintain that 3.2, build it up to a higher grade, or not complete some assignments and let it slip lower. So you can, at any point, calculate your grade, and you can project out what it'll be if I don't complete a few labs, or if I do these projects instead of these problem sets, or if I miss these homeworks. So hopefully this gives you a lot of power in predicting your grade and making a plan, and then adjusting that plan as the quarter goes along. So please use this. And that is, I think, everything that I have for you for our grading overview. Let me know if you have questions, especially if this system is fairly new to you.